Hi everyone. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to make these little books. They're about maybe 4 by 6 inches. They can be any size you want them to be, but that's about what most of mine are. And I use them for my nature journaling and just journaling in general of things that I like to draw. I'm big into birding, so I've made a lot with birds on them. These I would do like nature, like leaves and trees and such. And here's another with bird and flowers on it. Anyway, I have made a lot of these. I just keep piling them up and I go through them pretty fast. And anyway, I'd like to show you how I do these. First of all, you've got to start with some kind of paper. I like this, like a scrapbook paper type thing. I get these at the craft stores like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, etc. And they have kind of a sheen to them. They're nice. It's not just flat paper. I also have a bunch of these that are already smaller, and you can see how beautiful these are. These will be really pretty for flower journals. And so anyway, I'd like to show you how I make these so that you can do some of your own. Let me show you first a finished one that I have done, and I have a separate video for this, but you can see I've just got flowers on this one. This is the way this paper came, and I've just done some plants from the garden in this one, and that's all this is. I call it nature journal. So anyway, what we're going to start with is you've got to have some paper, something to use for your cover. And then for me, because I primarily do watercolor, I use watercolor paper, but you can use any kind you want. If you want to just do it as a journal, you could just put plain paper in there or with lines or whatever, but I use watercolor paper. So anyway, I would start this way on mine, where I take this paper. Let me move some of these out of the way, but you get the idea what they look like. So I would take my paper like this, and in this case, I would get my exact measurement, and let's just say this is, I don't know, 6 by 8. Let's say it's 6 by 8. And I would fold this in half, and then I'm going to cut, now you've got this in half, I'm going to cut my watercolor paper the same size. If that's 6 by 8, cut this 6 by 8. These two are not the same size, but you get the idea. Cut them the same, and then you're going to nest them in there where the fold is. These would all be the same if you had cut this the exact same size. Now with watercolor paper, it's quite heavy, so I only put 2 sheets of this in, but that gives you 4 surfaces to enable you to do, it gives you 8 with 4 pages. And let me show you that real quick. In this one that I have done, so you've got 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And so that's just with 2 sheets. That gives you 8 opportunities for fun things. So anyway, you're going to fold both of those and then take your paper, your cover paper, and mark with just a pencil using a ruler where you want your staples to be. You want them to be nice and even. You don't want one down here and then one up here and nothing up here. Measure it out so they are evenly spaced, and just do that with a pencil. You could erase it later. So anyway, you've marked that. You've got your 2 sheets of watercolor paper in here. And then what I use is this long arm stapler. Use as whatever you need, whatever has the longest throat in there to get into the paper. If you need this long one, get one of those. If the little short ones will do, and I think they have some in-between sizes. So anyway, you're going to take that, going to flip it over, and you're going to staple it from the front side so that the long part of the staple, meaning this, is on the outside, but the little hook parts are on the inside. So in other words, then you've got this now stapled. Now, if you use just lined paper or plain paper, like for sketching or journaling, you're going to be able to fit way more than 2 sheets in there. You have to experiment with that and figure out how many you want in there before it looks like it's buckling or it's just too heavy. It's hard to get the staple through. So anyway, that's what I do. And then on a lot of them, because if the paper kind of dictates it to me, I go in with my little handy dandy corner clipper and clip the corners. You can see how nicely rounded these are. And like on here, I like the rounded look if it looks right. Some things look right if they're just square. But anyway, so then I go in and with this corner clipper, and I love this one. Has 3 different sizes on it, 3 different depths or whatever you would call it, angles of the roundedness in the corners. So I clip the paper on the front. I clip each of these front and bottom, and I think they look really great. And like I said, I use these for journals. I travel with them. Maybe I want all the birds that I see in Idaho or something when we travel through. And it just makes a nice, quick, easy little book. And down below, you will not only find a link to my YouTube channel where it lists all of the videos that I have done, and there are instructionals and there's travel journals and all kinds of different things. But also down below, there will be a list of the supplies you need to complete this comparable project. So there'll be a link for things like this, or the stapler, or watercolor paper. I just say, find it wherever you look. If you're looking at maybe gift wrap or scrapbook paper in the hobby shops, use whatever you find. And I just love these because, boy, you fold that in half and that just makes a really pretty book. So anyway, that's it. That's how to make these. Make a whole bunch of them and go off and have fun. And you can come up with all kinds of creative things and ways to use these. And I really like that they're little and tiny, kind of like, we're done. It's finished. You only have to do a few things to fill it up. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed this, and I challenge you to go out and be inspired by this and make some really cool little journal books. And I'll catch you another time, and that's it for now.